Hey guys, on this lecture I'm going to show you how to create the post scaffold. But before any of that, I want to introduce you to Simple Form. Simple Form provides a simpler way to generate view code compared to the standard Rails view code. In other words, it makes your forms a lot nicer to code, less tricky and simpler. So, to install Simple Form, we first need to go to our text editor and go to our gem file. And in here, this is where we add all our Rails extensions. And so just go to this website if you want. If you want to read more documentation about it, github.com/platform tech simple form, and copy this line, gem simple form, and we'll put it right here. We should write a comment. I always comment on my code. Add simple form, and paste this. And after you add any gem, the next thing you have to do is run bundle install. This installs all dependencies on your Rails application. So type bundle install. Wait a few seconds. And your bundle is complete. Now Simple Form is installed. But it's not only that. Because we're using Bootstrap, Simple Form has a really nice helper generator to add Simple Form with Bootstrap styling. So what we do is get this line of code and paste it on your terminal. Basically, it's Rails generates Simple Form to dots install Bootstrap. And here we go. And it will generate a bunch of files. Because we haven't got any forms yet, we can ignore this code, but now we're going to generate the post scaffold, and we're going to add this nicely. So to generate a scaffold, you just type Rails generate scaffold, and we're going to make our post. So post, and our post is going to have a title, which is a string, and a content, which is a text field. Basically, a scaffold generates a bunch of files. It saves you a lot of work. It creates a controllers, the views, the models, everything, and also, and more important, the migrations. Migrations are files that tell your database what to store. In our case, we're going to create a table called posts, and has this title, which is a string, and a content field, which is text. And if we go to our views, we have a new folder called posts, and it has some sub files. The index, which is going to show all the posts, the edit window for our posts, which is rendering the form, and this is our form that we need to edit. As you can see, simple form was already added for us. We just need to add a little bit of extra line to make it a lot nicer, and we just copy this and type it here. So after the add post sign, and as you can see, it added the HTML class form horizontal, which is the Bootstrap class, to our form. Before testing this out, we need to tell Rails to add this new migration to our database. So to do this, we just type rake db migrates, and it's gonna, here we go, create the table. Test this out. Let's go to Rails server to start off our server, and we're gonna go to our browser and type localhost 3000 posts. Here we go. We have a new post index action and title, the content. This is a table, and to add a new post, simply click here and type title hello world, and content, this is my first post. Create post. Hey, our post was successfully created. This is our first post. If you go back, it goes to our index action, where you can see our title, our content, and the actions. We can show the post, we can edit and destroy. If you can notice this is this styling is not intended. Basically, when you created a scaffold, Rails had the courtesy of generating some scaffold CSS, which kind of conflicts with Bootstrap 1. To remove this ugliness, just go back to your code and go to the style sheets folder. There you should find this file. You can delete it. And now, if we hit refresh, it goes back to the Bootstrap file. But it's still very cluttered, so I'm gonna add a container around this. This is the index action, remember? And we're gonna add div class container. Also closing the tag, and we're gonna do this for the index action, the edits, the new end show. So oops, and new, and finally the show. And our posts controller should look a lot nicer. If we hit refresh, see it's more centered, and this table doesn't look quite right yet. So we're gonna add we're gonna go to Bootstrap and check out how the tables can be structured. So go on Google or get bootstrap.com, and let's see, CSS tab, and here we go. We have tables. So to make this table bootstrappy, just add this class table to our form. So here we go, and go to index. Here we go, there's a table layout, and add this class called table. And let's see how it works. Click refresh. A lot nicer now. And let's go ahead and create a new post. You see our forms are a lot prettier. So my hello world 2. This is my second post. Create post. Here we go. And now it's a lot nicer. But I'm still not happy yet. Let's add some button styling to this. So if we go back to the Bootstrap parts, we can go on buttons, and you see that by adding this class as default refers to this, the primary, the success, the info. Let's add all primaries to the new action. So new index, you have a new link here. So comma class btn primary, and let's make it large, so btn lg. And now you should have a nice big button. Nice. And that's great. Let's go ahead and commit our work because we did some significant changes here. By the way, I'm going to show you what did the scaffold generate. So it generated a post.js.coffee, which handles our JavaScript, our post.css.scuzzy CSS, which handles our style sheets. It generated a posts controller with all the actions: index, show, new, edit, create, update, destroy, and these are some parameters that it sets before some of the actions. It generated a model which connects to the database, and it generated the views folder, which has all these ones. And plus it generated some tests. I'm not going to really mention that about. And finally, all the imports and migrations. And of course, it added to our roots file this line of code, which basically tells Rails to get all the actions from the post controller. So going back, I'm going to add this to Git. So closing our server, git status, and git add git commit m added generated posts scaffold. Let's push it. It's really important that you commit your work periodically, because if you do any mistakes, you can go back. I can show you afterwards. all done.